Hi, Cold Stare here, and today we're covering the 5 dangerous quests you should avoid in World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore. Alright, let's get started. So with World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore launching in just a few days, I thought it'd be good to cover some of the more especially dangerous quests that you're going to come across. There's of course plenty of other very dangerous quests in the game, but these are the ones that I think are going to claim a lot of lives early on. So if you're new to Classic World of Warcraft, the one thing you'll need to know is that the environment is much more challenging, and it's good to keep a few things in mind as you're going through your hardcore experience. Focusing on green level quests and green mobs will really help hedge your bets in surviving. Keeping in mind that any and all caves you go in are high risk areas, and always have an escape route planned. And maybe most important is that casters are extremely dangerous in Classic. So the video actually has 11 quests. The first 5 are Horde specific, the second 5 are Alliance, and then there's a neutral one at the end that you'll both want to watch. So if you're specifically only an Alliance player, you can jump to the 5-minute mark. So the first on our list of Horde quests you should avoid is Consumed by Hatred, which Mankirk gives us and brings us out into the Barrens to take care of some quill boars. Now, when I say quests you should avoid, what I'm really saying is you should either be adequate level in a party. If you are solo, maybe you should avoid these for a little while. Anyway, the quest is on this list because it has high mob density. The bristleback geomancers cast a hard-hitting fireball, and you should try, if you are going to do this, to complete it with tribes at war. So I know some of you are thinking, oh, Cold Stare, don't be so precious. I've done this quest before, and it's not that hard. And actually, you're right. It's not that hard, technically. The mobs drop the quest item you need fairly often. What I think makes this quest so dangerous is that in Classic, the health bars don't show until you get close, and these mobs can kind of blend in with the environment. And before you know it, you're attacking one and you didn't really see some of the other ones that were nearby. And next thing you know, you've got 4 or 5 NPCs attacking you. Next up on the list of quests that are sure to ruin someone's day, Dark Storms in the Barrens, a level 12 quest. So if you're leveling solo, I would advise you to completely avoid this quest. If you're in a group, it's probably not too bad. You have to battle through some thunder lizards in the canyon area of Durotar. And once you make it to this area, it has pretty high mob density. You should treat it like a cave. There's only one little path that enters into the play space. And there you're after a goblin named Fizzle, who's a caster. And as we've said before, casters are very dangerous. This clip was, of course, a suicide run, and it was just meant to show you how quickly the mobs can stack up on you. So don't feel too bad for my little troll rogue that died here. This was actually on a live Classic realm, not hardcore anyway. Another quest that you should approach with caution, or just avoid entirely, is offered by Thrall, Hidden Enemies in Durotar, a level 12 quest. This quest is sure to claim a lot of adventurers' lives because it's got all the dangers you're supposed to avoid. It's a cave, it has lots of casters, there's an elite that patrols around, the quest item has a low drop rate. So really the thing that's going to claim a lot of adventurers' lives in Classic Hardcore is just overconfidence. You can do a lot of these quests on this list, just make sure you're in a good group and everyone's serious about staying alive. If you're coming from retail and you've never tried Classic before, it's a totally different experience. You're a hard-hitting, powerful champion in retail when you're leveling. This was an iteration of the game where you were just a humble adventurer. Next up on our list of dangerous quests you should avoid, or just be very prepared for, Helcular's Revenge in Hillsbrad Foothills. Alright, well let's check out why we should avoid this quest. Mr. Thivond here wants us to go into a cave full of Yetis to try and retrieve Helcular's Rod. This is actually a 2-part quest. Both parts are equally dangerous. In this clip I'm showing where we go into the cave full of Yetis to retrieve the Rod. The other part of the quest has you go near skull level elites, just as dangerous and difficult. So yeah, this has all the usual suspects, high mob density inside the cave, multi-layer, so very difficult to escape from if you get into a pinch. It will no doubt be the end of the line for a bunch of unwary adventurers, unfortunately. Moving right along, Challenge Overlord Muck Marak in Dustwallow Marsh, level 45 quest. I think this one's pretty dangerous because he's just not your usual elite. He has a lot of health, hits pretty hard, and you don't really have a lot of time to prepare. You accept the quest and pretty quickly it starts. Overall, probably not as difficult if you're a pet-based class like Warlock or Hunter, but still you should proceed with caution, maybe be in a group or something. Alright, now on to the 5 dangerous alliance quests that you should avoid in World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore. Alright, first up on our list of alliance quests you should avoid on Hardcore Classic if you want to stay alive is the People's Militia found in Westfall and Sentinel Hill. It's a level 14 quest. Mr. Stoutmantle here is going to send us to the southern part of the zone, just outside of the Dead Mines instance, where we're going to find a slew of these Defies Pillagers, which are casters, and we know we're supposed to avoid casters as often as we can. Actually, if you just strafe the outside of this little town here, you could probably pull off doing this quest, so if you're alone, though, probably best just to avoid it. Here's another Alliance quest you should avoid if you're trying to stay alive in Classic Hardcore. Filthy Paws found in Loch Modan, level 15 quest. Mountaineer Stormpike is offering us a quest to go into a cave that is just full of Geomancer kobolds who would happily end your journey here if they get a chance. The Geomancers are similar to the Defies Pillagers, and they also have a fire shield that damages you as you attack them, so be careful. Still with me? Still alive? Alright, good. Here's another Alliance quest we are going to avoid if we want to stay alive in Classic Hardcore. Cave Mushrooms, found in Darkshore, level 17. In a surprise turn of events, the quest is in a cave, and we're trying to avoid that. So as the name suggests, you're going into a cave to get some mushrooms, but what makes this cave different than the others is it's full of Naga. It's a layered cave, and these Naga also have a knockback, and if you got knocked back into the bottom of this cave, you'd probably be in a lot of trouble. And if you try and run out of the cave, there's a steep drop-off, and you might die from fall damage, and I can't imagine any other worse way of dying in Classic than fall damage. Maybe drowning. Maybe drowning's worse. Next on our list of Alliance quests you should avoid, Colonel Curzon, Stranglethorn Vale, level 40 quest. I am going to make a bold statement. I'm going to say this is the hardest quest on this list. Horde and Alliance, this is it. This one is really going to claim a lot of adventurers' lives. And if you ask why, well, it has everything. The cave has stealthy sneaking around. There's casters. Some of the NPCs put you to sleep. Curzon is an elite boss that hits hard, and he has sub-chiefs around him. The quest takes you into a cave. You have to fight through Rebel Camp, which has its own unique set of NPCs in it to get in here. This is a really tough quest, and I'm going to really recommend you avoid this quest unless you're in a complete 5-man group. So you've been warned. Another tough Alliance quest you should avoid if you want to stay alive in Hardcore Classic is Wanted Otto and Falcon Crest and Arathi Highlands, level 40 quest that's going to take us to Stromgarde Keep. I don't know if there's going to be any remnants where people die, like a little floaty ghost or some indicator that a player died in this spot. I really hope there will be. There will definitely be a lot of them in this, if that is in fact the case. According to the comment on Wowhead, Falcon Crest is the equivalent of a level 40 raid boss. And he's got a 38 boss right next to him. There's all kinds of mobs in here, caster stealthies. So another quest that you need to really come in here well prepared for, full group. No messing around. The last quest in this video to help you survive in your experience in WoW Classic Hardcore. Meet Me at the Grave in Tenaris, level 52 quest. This quest is a long, involved, drawn-out quest line. It begins in Ungoro at this wrecked ship. Takes you all over Feralis, Winter Spring, ends in Tenaris. All throughout the quest, nothing about it is too dangerous. But what got this quest on the list is the fact that when you create this potion, part of the objective of the quest is to die. You drink this Vidir potion, this elixir, and as you'll see in the video, you die the moment you click it. Now, I didn't do this on a PTR. I don't know what will happen when hardcore goes live. The objective is to die. You literally cannot complete this quest, as you see, unless you are a ghost. You run over, and the NPC you turn it into is a ghost too. And you turn it in, you run back, you resurrect, and you'll see this little headstone is where you finish. So, of course, I would assume this is going to count as a death. So, I guess we'll find out. Alright, well that concludes our video about the 5 quests you should avoid in WoW Classic Hardcore, or at least be grouped up and well prepared for them. I really appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. If you have any questions or comments, think I missed anything, or have any advice, go ahead and leave them in the box below. Bye!